I think classroom experiences are very, very structured, and I think a disservice of a classroom experience is that you can enter, see a syllabus, and think that that is how it is and how it will be, and that life fits those steps, and that answers come halfway through and at the end, in your final and your midterm.
Dr. Simmons has been working with an enzyme called COX-2, which is involved in inflammation and pain.
We didn't call it COX-2. We called it mitogen-inducible prostaglandin G8 synthase, which never caught on.
First of all, I got to see what it's like to be in a lab. And second of all, through interacting with him and seeing the experiences that he has in his professional field, I've gained really a lot of perspective on what I'll be facing and what kind of career opportunities there really are out there for me in my field. And that's what made me decide that I want to keep on with what I'm doing.
I think you influence the student in a lot of different ways through the mentoring process, and you're more limited in the classroom.
What I've been able to do is be hands-on with them all the time while they're working on the project.
I think the other thing that's great about mentoring for me has been the fact that it's all been hands-on and it's been real projects where we've had a client and there's been a purpose, and so in that sense it gives the students an excitement.
There's a great deal of trust. It's not like, okay, if you do a bad job, I'm going to give you a C. If you do a bad job, our project is going to be set back a week.
A week and a half ago, Brandon and I ran into this problem. We've been working with this assay for about 4 months, and we're still having problems with it, so we're both getting really frustrated. And I went to him with a problem, and he wasn't quite sure of the answer, and so he went to Dr. Burton with the problem. And Dr. Burton fiddled around with it for a while, and Brandon and I fiddled around with it for a while, and we eventually figured it out, and it was just really kind of cool, because like we got all the interaction, we asked everybody else in the lab, you know, and they helped us with the problem, and nobody knew the answer before we started. And by the end of it, we'd figured out what was wrong, or what wasn't wrong, actually, in this case.
Two people are smarter than one, always. And so when you have two heads thinking and working on interesting questions and doing research, you can share ideas and come up with a result that's much more than any one person can do.
We learn from each other. I mean, I mostly learn from her right now, but it's still really, it's neat because we really interact and it's a group effort.
I spend more time with my student assistants than I do with my faculty colleagues. And it's not that I don't like my faculty colleagues, it's just that I work in an office where my students are located, and we're able to work together, and I like them all.
You get to know the professor as a person, and that's been really interesting, because Dr. Jackson's really down to earth. He's got a sense of humor, but he really works hard, and he's very dedicated to the church and to the mission of BYU.
I know their wives, I know their husbands, gotten to know their babies over the years, and so it's been a really happy working relationship for me, as well as hopefully also for them.
I used to work for NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. There I designed radar systems for spacecraft. But the problem there was what we worked on was really just hardware without a lot of involvement with other people. And I wanted to do something more for people. I always had a dream of teaching and working with students. And here I feel like my job is to build students, not just to build hardware, to do research problems.
A teacher is someone you see in the classroom, and that's about it. If you have a question, you go to their office, you go bang on their door, you can go beg for grades or whatever happens with teachers. But with my advisor, I see him at least once a week for probably an hour to 2 hours of time every week, just he and I, just sitting together, working out problems, talking about the things that we work on together. And so that has been a very unique relationship where it becomes more of a friendship or more of a coworker type level than a professor and a student.
I don't know. To me, mentoring is really what life is all about in some sense. I wouldn't be here if I couldn't mentor students. If I could just do my research, I'd be perfectly happy to sit at my computer, go to a few scientific meetings, and I'd be happy. That'd be great for my academic career and for what I like to do for research. But you know what's rewarding? What really matters are people. In the long run, all my research is not a hill of beans, because when we all go to the celestial kingdom, we're going to find out how little we know about life and really what's going on. But you know, the students, the people I've worked with over the years, I hope I've built them and made them into better people. That will last a lifetime.
I hope that this becomes the hallmark of a BYU education.